Good evening, everybody. Granny there just celebrating the fact that it's TTR Friday. That is our TikTok advertisement for tonight's show, by the way, that Susan put together. Granny is now, she is now the main sponsor, main mascot on the channel, of course. The Toon Review Granny. Daisy is also still here. Daisy the cow, of course. We do have an awful lot to get through tonight because there is football stories breaking left, right, and centre. We will also get you guys on as well. We'll put the link up very soon for you guys to come and join us. Let's see some new people on tonight as well and have your say on the season and what you expect to happen in the summer. Stato will be joining us about halfway through the show. He's been off to get a new car tonight, so he's picking that up. And he will be joining us at some stage throughout the show. But we want to hear from you guys tonight. What did you think of Australia? Dear God, we'll talk about that as well. We'll talk about these links for Nick Pope, who is apparently wanted at Ipswich, of course. And Ten Hag he's been sacked at Manchester United via the media. So it looks like he's on his way. With Kieran McKenna, the favourite to come in there from Ipswich, of course. So Ipswich have called an emergency meeting with McKenna to try and work out a new contract there, of course. So there's all sorts going on in the world at the minute, Billy. It's crazy.
Well, it could be a big scrap for McKenna's kind of adorations from Chelsea also, who are very interested in him. So, yeah, Chelsea or Manchester United, where would you go? I mean, personally, I think I'd rather go to Chelsea at this point in time. But he's from Manchester United. He was a
coach there, wasn't he?
Yeah, but the players hated him. The players absolutely loathed him there. So very interesting.
Which is strange because the players love him at Ipswich. So I don't know what's gone on there, but it's crazy.
And
but
if
of
McKenna
course,
is going, how can they get links to Nick Pope there? Doesn't make any sense to me.
It's mental. But Eddie Howe's name has cropped up for the Chelsea job as well. So literally all sorts of stuff going on in the football world. But as usual, guys, if you do enjoy tonight's show, please do hit that thumbs up button. Very, very important to the channel. We keep those coming in. And of course, if you're new and like what you see, please do subscribe. We are less than 200 away now. Should I do a check, Billy, and tell everybody where we are?
Why not?
Okay, we are officially 188 subscribers away from 30,000. If you're not subscribed already, if you could do, or just spread the word. If you are subscribed, get your family and friends involved in the channel and come and be part of this amazing, amazing community here on the Toon Review. You can join, of course, just underneath us. If you hit that join button to sign up, and of course, you can donate to the channel as per usual with a super chat, and that's the $ at the bottom of the live comments, and that will guarantee to get your comment read out on the show. Right, we'll start with the debacle that was this morning, Billy. I mean, I jumped on at half-time after the school run and stuff, but oh dear. I mean, there's so many Australians pretty angry with the situation. I'm not having to go at Eddie Howe here, by the way. I said this morning. There's no way I'm having to go at Eddie. Eddie's protecting his players. He did come out after the game and say that it had been a long, hard season and there's no way they could play 2 games in Australia, having just finished the Premier League season. I think he could have maybe changed the side a little bit for both games rather than going all out with a strong side against Spurs. And those Australians that spent money going to watch them in Melbourne this morning were quite disappointed because none of the stars played. So they are very, very disappointed with that, Billy. And I just think it was a PR farce for Newcastle today because if any families are taking their kids along to be future Newcastle United fans and they watch that, you know what kids are like. Oh, well, they're crap. They got absolutely hammered, not knowing it was obviously the kids' team. And they'll go and support somebody else. That's the way it just works, doesn't it?
The optics of it all was just totally so out of focus. It was unbelievable. For starters, the website didn't work properly for hundreds, thousands of people today. Some had to pay twice and still didn't get a stream. Just ridiculous. The website, it's out of date. It's still there from the Ashley era and it needs updating seriously quick. And we knew this last summer when the memberships were going out. So why they haven't done anything in the meantime, I don't know. It's poor for me. The playing side of it, Eddie Howe clearly didn't want to be there for his second game. And played a team of kids plus Mark Gillespie, who may as well have been a kid for what he did.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, absolutely appalling today. And like you say, there's kids there watching Newcastle United for the first time with parents, maybe expat parents, who told them how great Newcastle United are, and they've gone and seen that being beaten by, okay, they are the elite of that league. Take two teams who were playing the cup final this weekend, but they've seen them being well and truly stuffed today. 8-0 kind of flattered us as well, to be perfectly honest. It could have been 10-12. Yeah, not great at all. And you could tell Eddie Howe wasn't bothered because he played the kids for the whole game, and that even though he had other players there, some sat in the stands, some sat on the bench and didn't get off it. Wasn't interested. He didn't get off the bench himself, to be perfectly honest. He sat on the bench the whole game, laughing and giggling with Jason Tyndall. So, yeah, it wasn't fantastic.
It was abysmal.
Embarrassing.
We've got a super chat in from Spike Milligan, and he says, if the purpose of this morning's game was to embarrass the club, fans and players, well done, they did. Case Ball, thank you for yours. Man United tapping up other teams' managers now. Hope they have very good lawyers. House shot owners in the foot today. Have a great summer, TTR. Well, look, I mean, everybody that has said they went to Wednesday's game said that it was incredible. It was a brilliant atmosphere, and everything was right about that game. But today, we saw quite the opposite. Everything was wrong about it. For me, the game should never have been played. Not in a million years. I don't blame Eddie Howe for leaving the main players out. They deserve a rest after the season that they've been through. They all deserve a rest, and a couple of days walking around Melbourne, seeing the sights and things like that, not having to worry about playing this game. I don't mind that from Eddie's point of view, but from the club point of view, they should have realised that there would be a big backlash to this game, with especially fans who've paid an awful lot of money to get to that game. And I'm not talking about just fans that from over here. Trolls, thank you very much for gifting another membership, matey. Very, very kind. Not fans that travelled necessarily from this country, but in Australia as well. There'll have been fans from New Zealand, there'll have been fans from around that area who thought, oh yeah, we'll fly over and we'll go and watch the game. And they've seen an absolute, disgrace today. I mean, those kids looked absolutely devoid of any confidence when they came off the pitch tonight. It was terrible.
Shell-shocked.
Totally shell-shocked, yeah. And it wasn't what we want to see. There should have been some experienced players out there alongside them. And listen, the reason that Eddie gave for Trolls has gifted another membership, by the way. Thank you, Trolls. The reason Eddie gave for not playing Dummett and Matt Ritchie, Billy, kind of sticks in my throat a little bit. Saying that making some excuse that Dummett wasn't fully fit. You can't tell me that in a million years. I'm not having that. But it's now come out that it looks like if Manchester City do win the FA Cup, they will be offered new deals, Billy. And quite frankly, this needs to stop with Newcastle United. They need to stop doing this with the old guard. Just say thank you for your service and let them go. Why are we hanging on to these players instead of concentrating on bringing more through? We don't need Matt Ritchie and Paul Dummett around next season.
Absolutely.
Whatever Eddie says about the dressing room.
Well, there's a homegrown thing with Dummett, isn't there? But I mean, Ritchie doesn't fall into that category. Maybe they could get rid of Dummett and maybe get a second keeper, someone like Fraser Forster, who'd also qualify for that, and take him out of the squad. Take Dummett out of the squad for him. The second keeper or third keeper, because obviously he's better than Mark Gillespie. 100 times better. So there are ways and means around it. I don't understand why Dummett's kind of been signed for the year, except for that homegrown thing. And Ritchie the same. It's just taking up squad spots for me. And, when you want to strengthen your squad, they're the two players you look at first to replace. And I don't get it. I don't understand it.
Well, Ben's talking about Alex Murphy there, who I thought had a particularly difficult game today. He's one of the players that we are looking forward to seeing how he develops. But he was absolutely lost at sea today. He really was. Chippers, thank you for your super chat. Why didn't they just do a meet and greet with fans instead of a second game or an open session with fans? The second game wasn't necessary. That's a really good idea, Chippers, actually. An open training session where the fans could come and meet the players. At least they would get something out of that rather than what they got out of the game today. Keith Truscott, member for 20 months now. Thank you, Keith. Growing our brand by going out there, in essence, was a good idea. But what transpired today has only gone and hurt the brand. Why they went out so soon. Well,
apparently Chelsea was supposed to play in that All-Stars game, but because of the Cup final, they couldn't do it, and we've kind of jumped in as a late replacement.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah,
I don't know.
Just a waste of time. Absolute waste of time for me. Get Richie and Dummett out. What have they done the last 3 seasons? To be fair, absolutely. I totally agree with that. I think it's not right. Spot on, Paul. Their time is done. Let them go. Those spots are holding up our progress. Peter says, really disgusted me. Cost me 20 quid and I still couldn't watch it. Well, I mean, there you go. There's a lot of people who, I mean, Stato included. I mean, he literally, as our show finished this morning, he was writing a complaint email to Newcastle United, which we knew he would do, and he certainly did. But I'm not sure whether he's heard back from them so soon. I highly doubt it. I still haven't heard back from them with my issue, so I doubt Stato will.
We had 12, 13, 1400 people watching us just for our commentary today, and
yeah,
because they couldn't get through, they couldn't see anything, so we would lift. I mean, we could commentate on much because we had the ball, but it was great to have that many people in the stream this morning. Fantastic.
It was still a good show because we still spoke about a lot, and the kids. Listen, some of those kids were playing today who have been released, which is mind-boggling.
I thought the best player was the one.
Diallo, yeah, absolutely agree, Billy. Jan, thank you for your super chat. To be fair, do not read too much into today's game. It's gone and will be forgotten as fast as the window opens. Oh, I know it'll be forgotten, but we're talking about the youngsters here and the effect it will have on them because they looked absolutely downtrodden after that game today. Dan Robinson, thank you for a super chat. Completely agree with Chippers. We should have gone to play Spurs, spent a few days meeting fans and doing publicity events. Would have been great for the fans. I agree. I think a publicity event would have been much better. Up the A1, thank you for your super chat. Well done this morning. Excellent banter as usual. Thank you very much. Hope you and the family of Up the A1s are really well. Derek's with us. Vindicates Eddie not rotating with youth in December. He obviously knew they weren't up to it. Exactly. I mean, look,
I agree with that to a certain extent.
Yeah, there's some players who Eddie will have faith in the youth setup. There's some that obviously he won't. Now, today was probably, whether it's a friendly or not, Billy, was an opportunity for those players to maybe show Eddie what they can do. Given that they were against an A-League All-Star side, so they could have gone out and thought, right, let's really show what we can do. And they weren't up to it. They weren't good enough. And you've got to say some of the defending, some of our passing, and the fact that Mark Gillespie still gets a contract, it blows my astonished mind that if we lost 2 goalkeepers through injury, he is our next choice. It scares me.
Yeah, but the point of the matter is we weren't asking for all 11 youth team players we played in December, just the 1, maybe 2 at our push coming on as a sub to kind of help those players that were knackered. 1 we probably would have got away with. 2 at a push coming off the bench, maybe. We certainly weren't asking for 11. Seeing that today, yeah, you could see why. But I mean, Joe White wasn't too bad. Travis Hearn did a little bit. I thought Diallo was good as well, but obviously he's on his way out. But little else. But people are saying you have no experience on the pitch, but you've got to gain experience somehow. How'd you get it? You've got to get it by playing games. Simple as that.
Right, I want to address this comment here by FX Pro, Billy, if you don't mind. We are looking at Mamardashvili and Trafford if Pope leaves. Now, I think it's common knowledge that we are looking at Mamardashvili. It's been in the media. Now, I've seen a few YouTube channels actually literally saying, I've got sources close to the club or sources in the club who tell me that we're looking at Mamardashvili. Please stop. Nobody has any sources inside the football club. You know what? It's just nonsense. And, I'm sick of this time of year or whenever the transfer window's about to open, channels putting out nonsense to leave fans astray saying, I've heard in the media or not heard in the media, sorry. I've got sources inside the club. You haven't. You're lying. You don't have any sources inside the club at all. The fact that the Mamardashvili reports have been all over social media for about 4 or 5 days now. You just have to look on any news segment and you'll see stories on Mamardashvili. So you haven't got sources inside the club. Please stop saying that nonsense, because we're all in the same boat. We're all doing a YouTube channel, but what we don't do on here is lead fans astray, because I'm sick of hearing it. And then fans are sort of sending messages to us saying, have you heard this? Have you heard this? Wait until you get some official news that either Mamardashvili is in for talks or he's in for a medical and there's a fee being agreed. then we can talk about it, okay, as a possibility. And then when the club announce that the player has actually signed, then we'll go from there, because that's then official. I don't know why people.
It's not the usual suspect either. People are saying, is it the fella that makes the chocolate? It's not him this time.
No, it's not. Well, he does his. I don't care what he
anyway.
does, not quite honestly. But it's other people now jumping on the bandwagon saying they've got sources inside the club, and they haven't. They really haven't. Dan Robinson sends us a super chat saying, "Paul, I've got sources inside the club." Laughing emojis. It just leads fans astray. And as I say, then we get loads of our subscribers sending messages to us saying, have you heard this? Have you heard that? No, because we'll always be open and honest with you guys out there. We're not in the know. We don't have any sources inside the club. We give to you what's written in the media. That's what I do my news reports on during the day. The daily news that I do, the videos are all done from media reports that I collect on a morning. I go through. Takes a lot of time to do. And what I do is I just dismiss the pathetic ones that just have no hope in hell of happening. But the legitimate reporters, I go through all those sort of stuff and look at them and think, well, they wouldn't report that if there wasn't any smoke without fire kind of thing. So I kind of, go for that. But apart from that, nothing else. Just rubbish. Keith Truscott, thank you for your super chat. The game may have been tripe, but the commentary certainly made the grade. Well done, guys. Keep pushing forward. You're all doing great work. Thank you very much, Keith. The best place to hear Newcastle United commentary is right here on the Toon Review. We don't mind saying that we are the best. The viewing figures prove that by a long shot, by the way, a long shot. But it's because of you guys, because you guys come and watch or listen to us. So it's all down to you. For me, Eddie does take some blame. He's had weeks to organise two teams. Yes, he doesn't want to be there, but the board have set it up, and it's their job. Go and play an extra 2 games, then go on the summer holidays. Interesting, different reactions to it. Mason says Motherwell are looking for a new goalkeeper. Well, Mark Gillespie, of course, is he's well acknowledged in Motherwell, Billy.
Well, Scotland isn't known for its goalkeeping kind of exploits, is it? Let's be honest, and that's not me being anti-Scottish, as it's usually I'm accused of. I mean, Jimmy Greaves used to make jokes at Scottish goalkeepers years ago. So
yeah, he did. Let's have a look. I wonder how many bottles of wine Lady Sam has managed to get through for her birthday. Well, she'll probably not be able to. She's probably seen 4 or 5 people in front of her, and there's only one right now. If we don't sign a backup goalkeeper and only Gillespie is back, we would be bottom half. Oh dear. Let's not give us the fear of God like that. Niall says, true, Billy, but you don't throw them all out in at once. You surround them with players like Shea and Trippier and the like.
That's what I said. I did say that, Niall, yeah.
Exactly. Claire says, Eddie gushing over Gillespie being such a big character behind the scenes just grates on me. He would never bring him on for a Premier League game. So what is the point? I mean... what does he get? Is it 10 grand a week he gets? I mean,
for social manager, forgetting the beers in, basically.
I'd do the sodden job for 10 grand a week. Bloody Nora, man. How is never ever going to leave? Bowen is never going to ever leave West Ham. He's a West Ham fan, and he's cost £65 million minimum.
I agree.
Football is a funny game. I don't think we'll get Bowen, but you never know. Tom said it isn't. It isn't how the folks who make Kit Kats have all of these Well, it wasn't. Well,
he might have been, but it's not the person with the channel we're talking about at the minute.
It's disappointing. It's disappointing because I would expect better. I really would.
Yeah.
But yeah, there you go. What can you do? People will do everything for views and likes. I mean, listen, people who throw that accusation at me when I do the daily news, I don't really give a toss, to be quite honest. Let them come at me. I do the daily news to bring you guys the information that I'm reading on a screen. I don't proclaim to know anything or any secrets or anything like that about Newcastle United, and I never will. What I do is I sit for a good while going through everything, preparing a video to bring you what I think is decent news, whether it might happen or not. It may not happen. It may. But I do spend a lot of time doing it. And, they are received very well. They get 10, 15, 20,000 views. So, but that's all it is. It's media news. And until anything's, we'll see when something's official, but it's just doing my head in. Roadblock, thank you for your super chat. Says the website's not fit for purpose. Dial-up level. I mean, yeah, I can't say anything else. That was just a disaster this morning. It was absolutely pathetic. Joe says, I've got sauces in the club. I dropped my sachets of Tommy's sauce last time I was in there.
Good the worst sauce in the club was that one that used to start at the Gallagate Trough. Do you remember that one?
Oh,
no. Did I ever tell you the story that day when I would have been about 12. I was in there having a wee, and this crocodile floated past. Someone had dropped a log in it. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah, health and safety back then, Billy, was just a nothing thing. It was a no-go.
The worst of it is it didn't make the smell even any worse. It was just the same.
No, you could do anything. You could do anything, and it wouldn't change the smell. Keith, thank you for another super chat. He says, not sure if it's been mentioned, but Man Shite have sacked Ten Hag, according to Goldbridge, essentially handing the cup to City. Europe, here we come. Yeah, look, we're going to touch on that as well, because like I said, there is a lot of stories tonight. So TTR Friday is kind of a general football show tonight, which normally doesn't happen, but it is tonight. We'll still have, of course, Billy's beef, because we can't do a TTR Friday without Billy's beef. But we'll get you guys on shortly. We'll put the link up. So remember, guys, if you want to come on, don't be frightened to come on. You don't have to come on with your camera. You can just come on and have a microphone, like a phone into a radio station. We want to get your views on everything Newcastle United, what you think of Australia's trip, and also, obviously, what you think of the summer moving forward. Jens, thank you for a super chat. He says, I woke up and seeing live score update, it showed 4-0 and 5-0. I was like, is something wrong with my eyes? Then boom, bam, bam. A little embarrassing. It was for any sort of PR stunt or PR event, they got it bang wrong.
Let's not forget, they made a whole bunch of substitutes, and we didn't. We made 3. And by the end of the game, they were knackered, weren't they? And so they scored 3 goals the last 10 minutes, didn't they?
Oh, they were out on the feet. They were out on the feet, Billy, absolutely. Keith says, I followed TTR since Paul had 60 followers and never had one bit of clickbait. Well done. As for a certain bloke with a name called... Thanks, Keith. I know Keith's been with me a long time, since the very, very start, since the iPhone on the kitchen table days. And I really do appreciate that. We really do have some long-term members of this channel, and Keith's been with us since the very start. One thing I would like to say, though, and I wanted to wait till a lot of people were in, over 800 watching now. As everybody knew, Rachel, one of our mods, who's been a mod on this channel for a long, long time, and a really, really close friend of ours. As you know, her mum was quite poorly. She actually passed away this morning. Passed away after a long, long fight with illness, but it all got too much for her. She kept fighting, but unfortunately, she just could not fight anymore. So Rachel is obviously devastated, as her family is. So I would just like to say, Rachel, we're all with you. You know that we spoke today. And the whole of the Toon Review army is with you and the family, sending love and prayers and big hugs. And we'll hope to see you back in the chat very soon. So condolences to Rachel and her family, but we're all with you. Stay strong, Rach. Okay, we have another super chat from Solo Strikes Back. Mamardashvili interest may be leaked by agents drumming up interest in their asset. Atletico Madrid may be being baited and NUFC being used. Well, listen, Newcastle United are not that club anymore. They are certainly not that club. When the fact is, we're up there with the Atletico Madrids now, whether you like it or not, or whether they like it or not. We are not going to be used as anything. We're not going to be used as pawn for a pawn in a transfer deal. It's just not going to happen. So that they can absolutely get stuffed on that. Now, Lucas Paqueta's in a bit of trouble, Billy Bob. I mean, look, if he's proved guilty for this could end his career. Yeah,
I mean, this is the naughty of naughtiest things. In if you're going to gamble on things, do what Tonali did. I mean, that was wrong, and that was all sorts of wrong. Mm-hmm. This fella's been getting people of his family to bet on him getting yellow cards, and obviously they've been cleaning up with it. It's an end of game for me. If he gets found guilty of that, I think he can get banned.
I mean, the sport report there, he's saying there that it's been touted as a 10-year ban at least. because this sort of if he's found guilty of this sort of betting, this is way, way worse than what Tony or Tonali or any of those have been banned for in the past. This is really serious. And I, you know, as you do, you see people putting up certain stuff on social media. You know, was this a deliberate attempt to get booked? And I have to say, I've seen a couple, Billy, which you kind of look at and you say, you know, there's a handball one at I think it's away at Bournemouth, where he just jumps and punches the ball away. It's a deliberate handball, and he's booked for it. So you have to look at things like that. You say, well, look, obviously he's innocent until proven guilty. Has he been charged? I think he has been charged, hasn't he? So
I think he has been charged. Yes, I mean, the FA must have some pretty decent evidence. But you must think these players that pull the shirt off after scoring, there could be something. Look, they know it's a yellow card, so why do it? You know,
it's madness. It's somebody will find you out, and especially with the betting, it's just all completely wrong in my opinion. Anthony says, remember me dad warning me of fellas peeing down my leg in the standing area. I was only 8 and thinking, what the hell? Yes. The Gallagher end for me, what I used to love about the Gallagher end when I went with my dad was, you know, all the kids somehow managed to all be pushed to the front. And you know, back then you would think, oh, you know, frightened of everything happening to you. You felt the safest houses around those Newcastle fans because all the guys around you looked after you. And they kept the kids at the front. And then when the game finished, you knew as a kid just to wait there and let the crowds clear. Your dads would come and get you. And it was exactly like that. It was unbelievable. But
there were people that didn't bother to go to the toilet and just whipped it out.
Just whipped it out and peed there. Because
occasionally you think, oh, that's nice and warm. Oh, for fuck's sake, you know, and then you realise what it is.
Yeah.
Someone slaps up the back of your leg. Good grief.
Or you just did it yourself to warm your legs up, and then you just sort of, by the end of the game, you were dry and off you went. Joe says, health and safety, Paul. Wasn't that just falling down the bank into the nearest boozer? I think so, yeah. Yeah, pretty much. It was dreadful. It was absolutely dreadful. Let's have a look. Mike says, regardless of circumstances and have been an exhibition with youngsters, to sign off a season and promote the club like that is an embarrassment. So glad I couldn't go. I would have been fuming. I've actually had a couple of messages today from people who were at the game, Billy, who sent me messages, and they are absolutely apoplectic about the money they've spent. Some who flew in from different parts of Australia. Now, as people know, it's a damn big country and they've got a long way to travel. And it costs a fortune. And if that was the case, and people saying, yeah, we've had a couple of weeks to do this, fair enough, we have. However, what I will say to that is, why not change the teams? Why not mix them up a little bit? It's wrong. It was terrible. It was terrible. We are joined now by Stato. Good evening.
Good evening. How we doing?
Not too bad. We're just discussing the debacle that was this morning. We've had a chat about what else we spoke about. Oh yes, McKenna, etc., etc. He's in deep trouble. But I want to just touch on Manchester United, because this could happen to any team really. And if this, whatever we think of Eric Ten Hag, okay, whatever we think of him, it's disgusting treatment. Let's be honest, it's rotten treatment. And these guys at Manchester United, I don't know what the hell they think they're doing or how they're running a football club, but it's very, very wrong. Because if this was Eddie Howe, I mean, us as fans, we wouldn't feel right about this. If he's getting, if he was sacked by the media, somebody has leaked the story, and Ten Hag, I mean, I think it's pretty clear that he's leaving. That tomorrow will be his last game. But it's disgusting treatment of a manager. It's wrong.
Yes, generally in Manchester United's case, I don't care anymore. The way they operate and the way they behave, I don't have sympathy now. I feel like they've burnt too many bridges with any sort of neutral, with the way the media operate around them. Especially, I'm a little bit frustrated with the lack of news sources, specifically Sky, not picking up the Dan Ashworth email leak thing. That's quite frustrating. Obviously, there's a lot of fingers being pointed at the fact that there's an Ineos link there, and I don't care. I don't care. I think Ten Hag has been saying nonsense in his interviews the last couple of years. I'm not overly bothered. He's come in and he's not been able to fix the dressing room. He's not been able to implement a better style. Not overly bothered. Is your point correct? Yes, it is. For most other clubs, yeah, it's not on. However, in this case, I'm not bothered. Let the club rot for all I care. Let's leave them in turmoil.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm trying to put my Man United hatred to one side just to sort of highlight the point of the way Manchester United are behaving, even towards their own staff. I mean, we've heard staff members complaining already about getting emails from Jim Radcliffe saying this and saying that. He seems to be a little bit bigger than his actual boots are for me. And
it's all of it. It's the Wembley of the North stuff. It's Old Trafford flooding. It's not just one thing. It's so many things that have built up over time. And you're saying that you're putting your hatred to the side. It's not hatred. I've got to that point now where I'm not angry anymore. I just don't care. They're operated poorly. They are malicious, ignorant, angry. The fans are entitled. And I just don't care. It's difficult to put to the side. It's like having a bouncy castle on top of you. You can't get it off you. It's there everywhere you look. At least Liverpool fans can be annoying, but they've got their icons. They've had some trophies. They've had some positive play. They've been developing through academy. There's more there. There's a bit more umph. It's hard to really take the mick out of them because they're quite a well-run club. But then they're not as overly spiteful to everyone else. Whereas Manchester United, I think spiteful is probably the key word there. And yeah, you are right. It's not great, is it, doing this to a manager? But in Manchester United's case, yeah, not.
The thing is, since Radcliffe and Ineos took over the club, any kind of football ethics have totally gone out the window, and they're treating it as if it's not football. They don't know how to operate in football circles. And so the Manchester United manager, I don't feel sorry for him because he's an absolute bellend. But had it been someone else, I would have felt sorry for him. Because it's Manchester United, great. I think it's fantastic. Long may it continue.
And I think that's what people will feel. Rather than feel sorry for Ten Hag, they'll actually say what Alex has just said there. And Billy, just they're not bothered. I wouldn't like it if Newcastle treated like... Yeah, but I wouldn't like that if Eddie Howe was being treated like that. But then again, he wouldn't. So, it's just... The Glazers and Radcliffe, they're a match made in heaven. And it's all going pear-shaped. Kevin, thank you for your super chat. Lots of shite about the Toon on YouTube. You guys tell it as it is. Keep it going, guys. Thank you very much. Steve says, you want to look at some of Bruno's yellows. Very sus. You've been looking at the Arsenal fans. Yes, the Arsenal fans putting videos out on social media about Bruno elbowing Jorginho and all of this. The Arsenal fans just cannot let... They are obsessed with Newcastle United, are they not? The Isak situation, the ball out of play situation, and now they're trying to make stuff up about Bruno because his mate Paquette has been betting. It's unbelievable.
Strange that they thought they were signing him a week ago.
Exactly. Come on.
Spiteful as well. Again, focus on your own team. Try and win stuff. Stop being spiteful.
It's just crazy. Right, I've put the link up to join us live on the show, guys. If you want to come on, have your say. Let us know how you're feeling about the summer ahead and that debacle that was the Australian tour. Let us know. Ollie says, Paul, have you decided on your season ticket for next year? Look forward to seeing the pair of you on the TTR for every match day live. I have renewed, but that's not to say that I'm going to be there definitely. I may go for some games, but then I may let me ticket out to others, such as Alex, etc. So we'll see how that goes next season. Because I thought about it, and then I thought, well, hopefully I'll be able to give other people the chance to go as well. So if I can't,
ages, to be fair,
yeah, if I can't get to a game, then I know there's a seat there, and I know I've got a disabled ticket, but I think, from what I've read, is if I transfer mine, that person I'm transferring it to has to just pay the difference to an adult ticket for the actual match. So I think that's how it works. But I'll be doing that next season anyway. Sophia says, Rachel was the first mod to welcome me in the chat and the last mod to give me a deserved telling off. Yeah, she's hurting right now, but she'll be back. Don't worry. They're saying it's the Ipswich managers team that leaked the news.
Maybe.
Listen, somebody's leaked it somewhere. Whether there's a snake in the grass at Manchester United or on the outskirts of Manchester United, who knows? Who knows? But it's left them in an awful bit of a pickle. I mean, look, we're covering the cup final on Match Day Live tomorrow. Do join us for that. We start at 2:45, 15 minutes before the kickoff. We will take you through the game. We're doing that simply because it's in Newcastle United's interest, that game. So hopefully we will actually be celebrating Newcastle United reaching Europe again.
We're going to get
tomorrow.
so hated for this watch along tomorrow.
Oh my God!
I'm not going to be able to hold my tongue about Man United fans.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely. Well, the bollocks to it. It's happening, and hopefully by 5 o'clock tomorrow evening, we will be in Europe again, and the passports will be getting polished. Anyway, let's bring Sam on. Chippers, good evening.
Hello, you right?
Oh, Chippers.
Not too bad. A lot going on at the minute, Chippers. What's your point tonight?
Well, just a bit more of what I said before in the chat about the trip down to Australia and how the PR exercise could have backfired. Really, I still baffle why we played the 2 games and why we didn't just, Spurs did the same thing. They went down, but what they did before our game is they had an open training session for fans and probably went down a bit better than watching the team get beat 8-0. I know it wasn't the first team, but it's the name Newcastle United, and that's the thing. I just think they haven't thought it through. It's kind of rushed as opposed to we'll just do it because for the money, and they haven't thought it through for the fans' sake. I think if they played the one Spurs game and then said, you know what, we'll have an open training session or something, or we'll do something for the fans, i.e. we'll meet them somewhere, like, just something like that. I think it spreads the word a bit better as opposed to playing the game and getting beat 8-0. I know it wasn't our first team and it was a lot of the young lads, but I think it just sends out it's the wrong way of going about it, and I hope they learn from it for when they go to Japan and Germany in the summer. Because,
by the way, Chippers, good point on that. You've just reminded me. If you couldn't watch the game, message them because they've emailed me back. You can get a refund if you send them proof of purchase.
Whoa! Hold the phone right now. So you send an email this morning.
There was a specific email for the stream support.
Oh, I'm sure there was.
Different.
What about a specific email for a disabled customer getting absolutely annihilated at the ticket at the entrance? Yet we're 8-9 weeks down the line from that particular incident, and I haven't heard once from the club. Yet but you hear back the same day about everybody $4.99.
I'm not saying that's right, but in terms of for people stream this morning, there is a stream email. If you email them, when you purchased it, in the email confirmation, there'll be an email that you can contact them and just explain the situation. They do require a proof of purchase, but then it's.
Why don't you send an email to that same address that Stato sent his to? You might get an answer.
Well, I mean, you never know. Honestly, shit on me from 10 foot. I would never imagined you got something back that quickly.
I think they manned the stations because they knew it just wasn't working.
What do you think of the Australian trip then, Chippers? What's your feelings on it?
I guess we'll not know about how well it went until we know what we'll do with the money that we'll get given. If we get the players in that we want, then you could say it's possibly been a success. But I do think they went and visited Neighbours Set the other day, which I think, well, could you not have seen the fans or something more than going on Ramsey Street as opposed to that? But I don't know what to make of it. I think it's great we've gone down there and tried to boost the brand worldwide because it's part of the world that we've never been to before.
Yeah.
But then I think you look at today, and has today backfired a bit? I.e., could we have just not played the game at all? And like I said, just done something with the fans and or done an open train session, have fans there to watch us. I never rarely say this, Chippers, as you know, but that is a good point. It is. You look at it and you think, well, Tottenham did that. I know Newcastle. I think they arrived
couple of hours after Tottenham did, to be fair. But, you know, like Billy said, I think it was Chelsea who was supposed to play that game, but because of the, I mean, how are Chelsea not? How come Chelsea couldn't play that game, Billy?
Because they were supposed to be in cup semi-finals, weren't they? Knocked out of the cup semi-finals.
Oh, so they weren't sure if they were going to be involved in the cup final or not.
Yeah.
So they couldn't commit to it at the time. So obviously they had to get another one. Yeah, well, fair enough. But I mean, where do you see the summer going, Chippers? What's your hopes for the summer?
I mean, people are messaging now that Ben Jacobs is apparently setting out that Man City are willing to pay Bruno's release clause, which is obviously
I've seen that as well.
You know, I'm taking that still with a pinch of salt, if I'm being honest. I know that release clause is there, but I still think he'll be here at the start of the season. Like I said, I think if we can get that, I'm not going to say that Mohamed Ashvili. I think that's his name. If we can get him in, because we need a good goalkeeper. I think the challenge Nick Pope, because obviously I don't think Dubravka's at it. He hasn't been at for a while, if I'm being honest. I know Matty wins in the chat. I don't really want to go bad on him, but you know, I could, but I'm not. But I'll just say he wasn't good enough for me. But if we get him in, we'll get obviously Tossin and Lloyd Kelly in early, which shows a bit of intent. I know they're free transfers, but they're proven at this level. They'll do a job for us, which is important. And then go from there, and it's all about getting the right players in again. We need a striker. It's as simple as that. That should be the main aim. Whether Wilson stays or not is another matter. I personally would be willing to get rid of him, not because of his goal scoring, but because of his injury record. And I think we can't have that. If he stays having another season like that, then in 12 months' time, we're going to say, well, should we not have cashed in on him, as opposed to paying his last month or so of his contract if we don't give him another one, which I don't suspect we will. There's a lot of if, buts, and maybes to be answered. Again, I'm pretty pissed off if we give Richie and Dummett a new contract, because they're just glorified water boys, if I'm being honest. They don't deserve one. I like, obviously, with Eddie Howe, our dad want him sacked again, but this is a question mark that would raise to him as to why they're getting new contracts and stuff like that, because, you know, if it does get to a stage next season, we do have injuries, and you'll go, well, we haven't got squad depth. You've got Paul Dummett and Matt Ritchie sitting on the bench. Well, no offence, but you've had a chance to get rid of them, move them on, and replace them, and you didn't do that. So why not?
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of things to happen, but I'm hoping that this summer will be a lot more better with Adidas coming in, and I'm kind of hoping it'll be a bit more uplifting, and hopefully them lot and Salford get beat tomorrow, and it means we'll get another season in Europe, which will be another thing to draw players in. That'll be another thing that'll go our way. So try to be positive, because the season's over with, but it's kind of like, let's wait and see.
Absolutely. I just seen we had a troll in there just before saying we get battered wherever we go. Well, we don't, do we? Maybe the kids do, but maybe that's what you like. But there you go. Right. Chippers, thank you very much for coming on, matey. We will catch you next time.
Indeed.
Enjoy your weekend, people. Please,
easy, buddy. Right, we're going to bring Alexander on next. However, before we do, it is time for this.
Here's Billy.
It is, of course, that time on a Friday night for Billy's Beef. And take it away, Billy.
I'm not going to take the low-hanging fruit, which I'm going to leave for you two. I'm going to talk about Mr. Southgate's squad for the Euros and the aftermath that came from the press afterwards, which seemed to focus more on people that weren't in the squad rather than those that were in it. Mr. Rashford, for one, he's been on the back pages of every paper this week, despite being awful this season, and people complain about him not being in the squad. People like Bon Lahore and people like that have said he should be in the squad, and he shouldn't. Absolutely nowhere near it. Hasn't been good enough all season long. One long distance shot against Manchester City does not get you in the England squad for the European Championships. Then we go to the actual squad itself. He's picked one specialist left back who happens to be injured. I mean, it's just ridiculous. There's two left backs in the Premier League, perhaps three if you count Alfie Doughty. But if you Tyreek Mitchell, who has played for England before, and our own Lewis Hall would have been, good picks for the 26 and definitely for the 33 to be narrowed down. So Southgate's made a mistake. It's his last tournament, all being well. Let's hope that he does end here. Having said all that, I do want us to win it. I just don't see it with that squad, if I'm perfectly honest. And I don't see why the press have ganged up on the non-selection of Rashford as a thing to talk about. The non-picking of left backs has got to be the one. So that's my beef this week. Mr. Southgate and the press is reporting of his awful squad and rather picking on Marcus Rashford's not selection rather than concentrating on the ones that were picked.
Yeah, there is the email address, by the way, guys. If you want to try and claim your money back, if you didn't get the stream this morning, God, there is some absolute knob jockeys out here tonight. Dear God, the loons are out in force. Anyway, let's bring Alexander in. Good evening, sir.
Hey, good afternoon to you guys.
How are you doing,
Alex?
Pretty good. Getting ready to go to work in a little bit. I do have some news about my move.
Oh.
It's still going to happen, but I have a invitation to do an interview for a certain team that I cannot say. But hopefully, if it goes well, I will be part of the medical staff.
Oh.
Very nice.
Worked very hard for it.
Oh,
you're not advertising it with your Le Bleu shirt, are you, by any chance, Alex?
I was going to say, yeah.
Say again?
You're not advertising which team it is with your Le Bleu shirt?
No. I would still be going to England. I would still be going to.
Is it a Premier League side, Alex?
I cannot say.
Oh,
I cannot say.
What made you pick the shirt up? Did you have the wrong sunglasses on?
Is it a football side?
Oh no, I'm originally from Paris, but I moved around the world because of my dad, because he was an airplane mechanic, and then I lived most of my teenage years in Miami, and then. The rest you all know, moved here to Houston.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to leave again.
Oh, he nearly slipped up there. He nearly slipped up. He just didn't quite get over the line with that. Geordie lad, thank you for being a member for 5 months. If Man City beat Man United tomorrow, that will happen. Which team would you like to see us play in Europe next season? Anybody. I don't care. The fact that we be in Europe is all I care about, and I really don't care. There is a guy tonight setting up different usernames to come on and make fun of people.
Give us your real name, mate, and we'll just pass it straight to the police because you're saying some disgusting things. Go on, tell us your name.
Or I can deal with you myself. I'll just have to just pop up the laptop and then just find your browser and go through my old channels when I was in the Marines and find you.
Interesting.
You're a disgusting piece of work, by the way. I mean, how sad must you be to keep sitting there, setting up different usernames every 2 minutes to come in with comments? You've got no bottle, man. Come and say it to people's faces and we'll remove yours because you're just an immature little twat, quite frankly. What an absolute idiot.
Either a Man United fan or somebody very irritated by this morning.
Big man, isn't he? Or big woman, whatever it is. Pathetic. Grow up. Jesus Christ. We can find you easily, pal. You might think that we can't, but we can. But never mind. Alex, I don't know whether you saw anything from Australia.
I did.
Certainly, I hope you didn't this morning.
Oh, no, I did.
Oh, God. What do you make of the whole trip straight after the sea? I mean, I know you're quite qualified to talk about this. Flying straight after the finish of the Premier League season, going out there to the other side of the world, and then playing 2 games. Now, we've already said we don't really blame Eddie Howe for making those changes today. He made it clear that he didn't want to go in the first place. But what do you reckon to that? Because it must have taken something out the players.
Well, I do have two views on it. I always try to give the retrospect of two sides to the coin. The first side would be exactly what it is, just a cash grab, marketing, get the support out there for, the Aussies. That way they can, find new supporters in new parts of the world that they may or may not be able to watch Newcastle on a daily basis.
Mm-hmm.
The second hand to it, as far as playing the games, I want to say it's more strategic. I'm not a person that has a lot of sympathy for people because of what I used to do, and I've seen others do it too. So I understand we all need breaks, and I understand that we all need time off with our families. Their time will come, but at the same time, they are getting paid. They know what they signed up for. They know what they're doing. And, well, we like to think they know what they're doing. But at the end of the day, you have to earn your paycheck. And I know it sounds very heartless, but this is what the world has come down to. But also, as far as playing the youngsters instead of the senior players, maybe I would like to think that Eddie Howe would probably say, okay, you want to be part of the senior squad. I want to see how you
it
are
is a
under pressure.
Oh, it is a Mackham.
Well, he claims to be a Mackham.
Go on, tell us your name. Tell us your name. Go on, type it in. I know you're struggling to type because you've got to mash it the keyboard with your face, but go on. That's 3 separate accounts. This guy
It's
has
4
made
actually, Alex. There was one on
4
before you
separate
came
accounts.
on. Yeah.
What have you got? Nothing better to do? Where's your family? It's 10 to 8 on a Friday, a bank holiday weekend. Where are your friends? Where are your loved ones?
He'll be in bed with his family, Alex.
Well,
mashing
his
your
loved
keyboard.
ones are sleeping next to him.
Yeah.
We all know that.
Cretin, honestly.
Alexander, what are you looking forward to in the summer? I mean, are you expecting Newcastle to make not a complete overhaul, but I mean, what do you make of the likes of, if we get into Europe, that means Dummett and Richie are going to get new deals. I mean, surely we have to start letting these players go.
Yes, I do think that we have to let them go. Paul Dummett was past his prime. I actually remember a time when Paul Dummett was a left back, and he was pretty solid at left back. And I can't even remember a time where I can't remember when the last time Matt Ritchie was actually part of the starting lineup to actually play a very competitive game and actually look good doing it.
Yeah.
But I think they should be able to cut their contract or let it run out and not renew it and bring in the likes of Alex Murphy. Even I know people have mixed opinion about Grand Croix, but I think with the right setup and the right coach, which is I do believe is Eddie Howe, he can bring his self-esteem up to bring him up to at least a bench player and see what we can get out of him. Because I think he is a good talent like Minta. I think he's also very good. I think we should be able to keep Minta because that would clear up a left-footed player that we don't really have many of. As far as signing, I think we need one marquee signing. We do need a lot of squad depth, and I know I have believed that Toon will come in following Kelly, but we also need a striker, and I think we do need a marquee striker. We could have 2 up front. We could have Isak play on the left like he did before, but we do need strikers because I cannot see us really truly competing having Gordon come in and step up when Isak gets hurt, because he will get hurt. It's inevitable. Everybody's going to feel it.
Even if he doesn't know, he can't play 60 games, right?
You cannot. Fatigue will set in. Your legs will feel heavy.
Tops, you're thinking, 35, 40 at best?
If you do it, so let's say we play 3 a week, maybe 55. These are athletes, so their body's accustomed to it.
I don't know if Isak's got enough in the tank to do 55 games. Like maybe a Bruno, or maybe a centre half, or a goalkeeper.
Or we can get a centre forward. We don't necessarily need a striker. A good centre forward will do. But as far as the goalkeeper, I really do believe the goalkeeper from Valencia is a good one. I have seen Valencia a lot this year, and he has been pretty solid. I said it in the chat when you guys were talking about it, that I can't remember the last time we had 2 good goalkeepers, and the last time I remember was Shea Given and Steve Harper.
Well, I don't know if you've heard the rumours, but there are rumours that Pope might be wanted by Ipswich or vice versa. But again, those are just rumours. So concerning. But I don't know if you guys heard, I didn't actually tell Paul this, but there is a Georgian guy who covers lots of Georgian football and all the Georgian players around Europe, who's going to come on and have a chat with us about Mamardashvili on a transfer show at some point soon. So we'll have a decent opinion from somebody who understands Georgian football and the players within it. So it's not just going to be kind of me and Billy having a stab at what we've seen of Valencia, which is only bits. So
yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting. But listen, Alexander, thank you for coming on again, buddy. And keep your eye open, because we will do some fan forums over the summer, especially if we make any signings or...
we'll get you a better shirt as well.
Yeah, we will. Yeah,
I actually do have a Harry Kane England jersey from this year that I saw in the shop, and I said, why not?
It's no wonder you like that after that penalty you took.
No. No, but I'm very before I let you guys go, I do have some views about the injuries that we do have right now that involves like Anthony Gordon, and like Lascelles and all that stuff. So whenever we have a chance, that maybe I can float my notes your way.
Well, actually, Alexander, I was going to say, drop me an email, mate. The email address is in the description. Just so I've got yours, and then we'll bring you on for a full show to talk about injuries and stuff. So I think that's good. That would be a really interesting show to do. Rather than just keep you on for 10, 15 minutes, we'll arrange a time where we know you're going to be available for the full show, and we'll bring you on, and we can talk about the injuries and the healing processes and recovery and things like that. I think the viewers would love to know that, what goes on with that behind the scenes. So drop me an email, and we'll sort something out, mate.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, man.
Brilliant.
All right, we'll speak soon.
All right, take care.
Take care. Good night.
Alexander.
Top man. I think that would be a really good show, actually. Someone who's in that profession who, well, let's face it, they could end up being at a football team by the sound of things. So we wish him all the very, very best with that. Let's bring two more on, and let's just ignore the idiot. The mods are dealing with him when he comes back, and I mean, what a sad individual, but never mind. Right, we've got Dan, and we've got... What? Hello?
You have to turn your YouTube off.
Hello.
Hi, Dante.
Hello, I'm Billy. Hello, Paul, Alex.
Hello, Dante. I don't know who...
Dante, you've got to turn your YouTube off. You've got an extra tab open.
Oh,
Oh, no, not the box that we were in. Okay,
right, we'll try Dan again. Are you there, Dan?
Yeah, I'm here. I thought it was me. That's why I tried muting my mic in case it was me.
Well, I actually thought it was you, but because Dante came on and said hello, and then he sort of, I heard, well, I actually thought you were a troll for a second, Dan, and you were shouting something about Newcastle fans, but I'll forgive you for that. Is this your first time?
No, well, second time. I think I was on once in the distant future when it was just Alex and Billy. I think my question at that point was, how much do we miss Willock, or something to that effect?
Well, at the minute, it's how much do we think Willock might go, but I mean, I don't know. We've got someone, I think we've got a newbie coming on, so we'll bring him on as well. Isidore.
Yeah. What's up, everybody?
Good evening. Where are you buzzing in from?
I'm from Sweden.
Oh, right. Okay. My auntie's Swedish, from Stockholm. Well, she lives in Australia, but...
oh, shit.
Hey, I have links to Sweden.
Yeah, I'm a pretty new fan. I started watching like after the World Cup, so
right.
I'm pretty new to and especially Newcastle. I don't know a lot, but I love the team, you know.
Well, keep watching this channel and we will educate you, matey. No problem at all. Dan, I'll come back to you first of all. What did you think of the Australian tour?
Yeah, so obviously I couldn't really watch it. I had school, so but well, it's pretty embarrassing. I'm not gonna lie. Putting the entire youth team out, and that's almost disrespectful to the Australian team. Just like, we don't care about this game. Let's just put out some players. Let's just let them play, and we lose 8-0.
It's
I
not
mean,
nice.
You're not wrong. You're
It's
not
not
wrong
nice.
at all.
Dan, what do you think of it?
I mean, I thought the Tottenham game was fine. I thought that went well enough. It was just that I didn't see the point of having the second game if all they were planning to do was play a youth team. If they were gonna use youth players during it, I thought they should have done half and half. Maybe used half of the senior players, half the youth players with Tottenham, and then half and half again with the Australian A team, and that would have at least given the youth team, even if they might not have played as well, experience playing with the senior players.
Yeah. It's a good point. What is your actual name, Isidore? Because I'm not going to call you that. It sounds like it's some kind of superhero.
Well, it is actually my name.
Well done, Paul.
Cheers, Paul. Nice one, mate.
Oh.
No, but it is actually a kind of rare name, even here.
How do you say it?
I know. Yeah, you say it like that. But you can also have like a short I, so it's Isidore.
Isidore.
But,
Isidore. Well,
It
the
does
thing
sound
is,
like a king's name, to be fair.
Alex will be practicing his Swedish accent now because he can't say anybody's name who's from overseas without putting an accent on.
Oh no, I can't do Swedish. I try Norwegian because I've got family that live in Norway and they tell me off. If I say Odegaard, they shout at me. It has to be Udegård. I have to say it the right way, otherwise they get really angry with me. So you have to say them properly.
But I got a little different question. With I think his name's Kieran McKenna, right? The Ipswich manager. Yeah. Why does everybody think he's gonna leave? Like he's just got like double promotion with the Ipswich team. He got a lot of status. Why should he go to a Manchester United, a Chelsea to ruin his career?
Money. Because they will literally like quadruple his salary.
I actually agree with Isidore here because, right, I'll tell you now, if Kieran McKenna goes to Manchester United, he's going to be a puppet, right? He will be a puppet for the Glazers and for the rat man himself, Mr. Ratcliffe. He will be a puppet. He won't have the control that he has at Ipswich. He won't have as much of a say in anything. He will be on strings, dancing around like a Thunderbird puppet. And I can tell you that for a start.
Same at Chelsea. Same at Chelsea. If he goes to Chelsea,
yeah,
exactly
absolutely, Billy.
But
absolutely.
He'll go to one of the two because if he doesn't go, he'll think, well, what would have happened if I'd gone there? He'll go to one of the two and it'll ruin his career.
I think the only thing that kind of lends credence to the Man United rumours is the fact that he was a coach, I think, at Man United alongside Carrick at one point, wasn't he?
He was, but I don't know if you've heard the rumours that the players were like mocked his training sessions, that they weren't good enough, and they mocked him. There was a bit of I'm surprised he got re-linked because that was a story. So a bit odd.
By the way, I'm a bald nonce now. By the way, that's very nice. Oh, lovely. By the way,
like a 12-year-old Tonali he's pulled a picture of.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know. But thank you very much. We will be forwarding on to the police because we will find you because you're too stupid. We will find you and let them deal with you. Can I just say, Isidore, you don't really have a Swedish haircut.
No, I actually don't really understand why, because I am like 100% Swedish, but my dad has curly hair somehow, and I somehow got it after like puberty.
Oh, well, to be fair, I mean, your hair is exactly how mine would go if I had any.
I
used to have curly hair like that. People used to actually think I had a perm, and I didn't.
They asked me that all the time.
It was just natural curls, but it felt good to swoosh it, just swoosh it every now and again.
I do have one quick question for you about football, not hair.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think Kraft's ceiling is? Do you think Kraft is good enough to stay with this squad? Do you think his contract can get extended? Do you think he can be useful?
Maybe like Paul Dummett, maybe like once a season, twice a season, maybe. No, I don't think, because my vision is I want to be like City. I want everybody to be wanting our academy grad, like Cole Palmer. They're just throwing him away, and he's a.
But that's the 10-year vision, right? I'm talking about like 2 years. Like Kraft might help us for a couple more years. And one last one, Gyökeres as well. Obviously, Billy's old favorite. He was at Coventry. What do you think his ceiling is? Because a lot of people are saying that he's doing it in a very dominant team in an easier league, and that if he comes back to a top 5 league, or if he comes back to the Prem, well, not that he's been in the Prem yet, that he would really struggle. What do you think of Gyökeres? Do you think he could come back and actually score?
Well, I think that if you're a club that's looking to buy him, I think you gotta wait one more season or a half a season, buy him in January or something. Because I feel like it could be a very, very, very good season. They have a very good manager. They have an overall very good team, and I feel like because he's come out the blue somehow. I feel like that if he would go to like Arsenal or something for 100 million, I don't think he would perform because
he's not come out of the blue though, has he? I mean, because we reviewed him when he was at Coventry, and he was profiling in all the right ways. He was scoring, he was physical, he pressed, he was technical. He spiked in all the right areas, but everybody was a bit scared to take a chance on him. And Sporting did, and now he's obviously amazing. So
but also like now I think it has like I think the second most goal contributions in like all the leagues. I think just under Ronaldo. So he's a superstar, but I'm not sure. And with Kraft, I don't think we can maybe keep him one more season, but after that we're just gonna say thank you, but we're trying to go further than that. So should probably
listen, Isidore, thank you very much for coming on, and keep watching the channel. You're welcome on the fan forum next time we do one, so make sure you get yourself on and become a regular of the channel. But welcome. I hope you subscribed. I think you already have.
I have. I'm trying to get enough money to like become a member, but it's a little tight right now.
Yeah, don't worry about that, man. Don't worry. The fact you may get a free one if someone donates them. You just as long as you're down for free membership, you might get one.
I hope.
Well, thank you for coming on, man, and take care over there in Sweden.
Yeah, thank you very much.
All right, good night.
Good night, Isidore.
Well, it's fair to say that I put my foot right in my mouth with a superhero comment, but what the hell? What the hell? Never mind. Right, let's try you again. Hello.
Does it work better?
That's better, Dante.
Yes, Dante's back. We can hear him. Anyway, Dan, what are you looking forward to in the summer?
Well, I'm looking forward, obviously, seeing new players, whoever we get. In my opinion, I think the marquee signing is probably going to be a right winger over a striker. I think that's a position that would benefit the team more than a striker. It's not to say don't get a striker. I think the striker may be a younger striker, though, that isn't going to cost quite as much, but is going to be an understudy more than. It depends. I suppose it depends on how much you get for Wilson as well, is the other thing. But if we aren't selling Wilson, I think it'll be a cheaper striker. If we do sell Wilson, I think maybe it'll be a little bit more, but still, I think the right winger will be the primary person. Personally, I hope it's Elise, but again, it's whether we can match the wages that other clubs are going to offer him, and whether we can put up the 60 million that his release clauses supposedly.
Yeah. Interesting. Keith Truscott, thank you for gifting a Toon Review membership. I can't. People, Dante, you've got a horrible connection, mate. It's buzzing in our ears. Do you want to try and get on next time?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for trying. Just try and sort out your connection for next time, bud.
All right. Bye.
See you later. Oh, bless him. It just, I don't know whether you guys were hearing that feedback as well. It was terrible there. But
I think it's because he's got YouTube on in the background. He's got StreamYard and YouTube. So if you can still hear us, Dante, just close the other YouTube chat and you should be absolutely fine.
Yeah, but we're nearly at the end of the show now. That's the only problem. So, but listen, Dante comes on all the time. He'll be back, no doubt. Dan, thank you very much for joining us, buddy.
Yeah, no worries. I'll see if I can get on next week, and I might even see if I can get webcam work. And I just couldn't be bothered because I was knackered from work today.
Don't worry about it, bud. The fact you're on is good enough for us. All right.
Yeah, no worries.
All right, take care, buddy. Good night.
Bye.
So there you go. That was Dan. Now, look, I think this whoever that guy was that was trying to ruin the chat, I really don't know the point of it because he's only going to get the comments blocked and removed. What is the point? But never mind. Anyway, that is it for tonight. Obviously, we've gone way over an hour, but thank you very much for tuning in. We've had almost 1,000 watching tonight, which is absolutely incredible for a Friday evening. I have missed a super chat, though. I do apologize.
I don't want me to shame someone.
Well, hang on a second. Actually, yes. While we're at it, let's go for it. But Frankie Norton sent in a super chat as well. So Frankie said, please pass on my condolences to Rachel. Lost my mum a month ago after illness, so I know just what she's going through. Great show as always, lads. Thank you very much for that, Frankie. Much appreciated. And I'm sure Rachel will very much appreciate that once she watches the show back. Anyway, let's do this before the end of the show. It is, of course, shamed by Stato. And who are you shaming?
The Aussie commentary from game number 1 against Spurs, not game number 2.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, so they had a lot of time to do a lot of research, and they didn't do a lot of anything. Yeah. They were kind of just making things up, which was a bit odd. You know, I know ours are great over here, but it was bizarre. It was damn right strange. Linking Isak to a Spurs move.
I
Absolutely.
don't know where that came from, by the way. I've never
ridiculous.
heard that one before.
No, they were just making things up on the spot, just to, you know, presumably they're getting paid for that. People do their jobs properly. I'm getting so bored of it. I'm actually just getting really bored of people just not doing their job. Do your job. You get a salary for it. Do better. Yeah. If you don't like it, go get a different job. But you get paid to be a commentator and to deliver facts and be entertaining. But to tell the truth, you're meant to talk about the players that are currently on the pitch, the situation that's unfolding in front of your eyes, maybe what's gone on in the season between both teams, transfer links. But it needs to be factual. It needs to be factual. Otherwise, where does it end? Where does it end at this point? Oh, they're just going to just sign anyone. Like there needs to be a limit. It needs to be professional. Again, they're employed by people. Do better. It was just odd. It was specifically the Isak to Spurs link just was the line for me, because I've not seen that anywhere else. And everybody knows I am obsessed with football. I look at football news all day, every day. Never seen that once. So for them to just throw that just out into the universe from seemingly nowhere, just poor. Just again, if you get paid, you know, we do this on YouTube. We don't have degrees in journalism. We don't work for football clubs. We just talk about football, and we hold ourselves to a standard where we like to try and research things first. So we're not just chatting absolute nonsense. And we've got no code of conduct, but we try and be honourable about that.
Well, Billy's definitely got no code of conduct, to be fair. Well,
about facts, anyway.
Code of conduct and Billy three in the same sentence gave me a sudden break.
But it's irritating when people who are employed to do this don't do their research. It's lazy, especially some of the guest pundits on commentary this year, even in the Premier League games. It's just, you know, you can almost play bingo. You can play bingo, especially the back end of our season. It'd be like, injuries, intensity, where's the intensity? Eddie Howe substitutions, Isak and Bruno getting transferred, money. You could play bingo with what people are going to say, and it's lazy. If you can predict what they're going to say every week, it's lazy. Do better.
Wacky Angler wants us to continue streaming until after the cup final. No. However, we are going to do some late night shows. We are going to do some shows in the near future, but when, we don't know. But we're going to try and space them out a little bit and do some good stuff. But there you go. That was shamed by Stato. Thank you all very much for tonight, mods. You've been incredible as usual. And thank you for your super chats, new memberships, your gifted ones. Incredible community. Thank you, Alex and Billy, but thank you to you guys out there. You are immense as usual. And don't forget, I know the cup finals on TV, but you can watch Matchday Live with us. You can knock the crappy commentary off for a start and the Manchester loving, and listen to us. We will take you through the game and hopefully be celebrating Newcastle United back in Europe for a second season running. That would be absolutely awesome. But enjoy the rest of your Friday night, folks. We'll see you at 2:45 tomorrow for Matchday Live. Until then, good night.
Payday. I'm off to visit Haaland.
Come back and check out some green.